Hey, Callum, I'm Joe Perry from the Talk Around Riyadh podcast. Great to be here with you today.
Yeah, nice to meet you, friend. How's everything going?
That's going better now that I'm talking to you. Uh, so I wanted to start with how you came to be Galad. Can you talk me or walk me through what that casting process was like, the experience?
Absolutely. It was probably, God, 2 years ago, maybe just about 2 years ago today. I got a tape through an audition, and it was all code named, and the characters were code named, but we kind of gleamed from it that it was Wheel of Time, and we couldn't quite tell who the characters were yet, because even the script itself was. It was kind of afterwards, I realized that it was right before the fight with Matt, is where they'd kind of got the lines from, but it was really hard to tell from the script. So um, Galad and Gallon were also kind of one character in the script. They were kind of the two brothers combined. So it was quite fun. I actually read it in two ways. I read it once as what I thought Galad would be, and once as what I thought Galad would be, or whatever their code names were. Uh, and so I kind of gave the casting department uh, options. And I guess they said, "Yep, that's Galad. That's more Galad than Gowan." And eventually, through I think it was a series of we did a kind of online interview, and then we did an online chemistry read with Kira and Luke, and I guess they thought we were sibling lay enough, and I was cast as Galad, and then flew out to Prague a couple of weeks later and started training for the stunts and started filming. So it was really quick. And I was just saying to some of the other guys, obviously there was no danger that I was going to get through the books in that time. So it was just really getting as much information about these guys as possible from websites. I had friends that have read the books, some twice. So it was like, I was on the phone to them twice a day, like, okay, so then after that, what happens next? And how do you think he would react this way? And it was really good. I kind of just painted my own picture of Galad, and yeah, it was a really fast situation. I was in Prague for a month, and then I was away, and 2 years later, the show came out. So
So working on a fantasy series of this scale, it must have been a unique experience for you. Were there any surprising or unexpected aspects of the production that you stood out to you?
the volume of people on a show like this is outstanding, and it's just amazing that it all works as one machine. There's other shows that are they have a couple of main characters and loads of extras and special effects and stuff, but you have your core. Whereas this show just has so many little pods and worlds and characters, and sets. I mean, it's just insane, really. So it was probably the time the biggest production wise show that I'd been on.
Hmm.
And that was really cool to see. You go into when I first went in to do, my first hair and makeup check, and they're like, right, well, what do we want his hair to look like? And you're sitting in one chair, and then there's about 15 other chairs around the room, all with either different characters or different wigs getting made or different, um, face effects getting built on a polystyrene head, and so it was just amazing. There's just so much going on at once, and I'd say for this show in particular as well, a lot of things that film in Europe have got an international team, but
Hmm.
this one in particular just seemed ultra international. There's just I'm pretty sure there was at least one person from every different country in the world. It was so it was amazing, just a complete blend of cultures and personalities, and I was there for a month, or I think it was about 5 weeks in total. I could have stayed. It was so much fun.
You mentioned that you kind of first jumped into that fight scene. There's that one in episode 3 between Galad, Gowan, and Matt, and that's like it's one of the fan favorite for the book readers. And it was really well executed. What was it like training for that scene and knowing how big of a scene it is for some of those book readers who love that. So what was that like?
Yeah, I think that scene itself was talked about online. Just during my search, you come across some forums or some tweets that talk about, I can't wait to see that scene. And so we put a lot of effort, and as did the show, they put a lot of time and effort. All the stunt guys were amazing, and they basically taught us how to do everything. So what was really cool is we do it all individually. So it would be me with Luke's stunt guy and Donald's stunt guy, and we go through. They teach me the whole routine and take me through it all individually. And so then once I got the moves, then they would introduce Luke, and then we do it with Donald's stunt guy, and then Donald would, after he learned, and I mean his is incredible with that staff, the core staff. It's just so much to learn, and there's so much, literally so many moving parts at one time that then when he comes in, and then we realize like, oh, this is why stunt guys get paid so much, because the first time that we do it, it's like so messy and like it's it's so hard to execute properly. But it's we just take it day by day and hour by hour, and slowly it just gets better and better, and to the point where for that fight we did everything ourselves under the very watchful eye of our stunt guys.
Hmm.
And the stunt team are just, again, I cannot say how much value they bring to the show. Every fight that you see, those guys coordinate it for months before and have to teach actors who have maybe never done stunts before how to do it. But I was really proud that we managed to do it all ourselves. And I know that for every show, there's a certain amount of time that you've got to get the show down to. And I think for both fights, for the kind of training ground fight with Gowan and Galad, and then when both of us fight Matt, both sequences were longer in real life. And I could have just watched that fight for like 10 minutes, but there's edits and cuts, and it's got to make sense within the show. But yeah, it was such an experience, and one that I'm like, get me back in there with a sword. Like, I want to do that again. Maybe
Yeah.
win this time, but
I'm sure there's plenty of Galad winning sword fights in the future. I'd love to see that. I want to see the director's cut now of that sword fight. That would be amazing. So, Galad's family appears to have a different perception of him than he has of himself. In the show, they're kind of making quips about him behind his back. Can you elaborate a little bit on the dynamic between him and his family?
that's something that came up in the last interview that I did as well. Is I really really enjoyed the fact that he can be annoying, but not in a way that's trying to be annoying, or it's not annoying in a way that he's like in people's faces. He's just so dead certain on what he believes, and like if there's an awkward question to ask, he'll ask it if he thinks it has to be asked, and that is annoying to his family. And uh, I'm an older brother in real life. I have a younger sister, and I know that if I think that she should do something, or if I think we should do something, she disagrees, she's just going to roll her eyes. And I thought that was really fun. It was really nice to bring a little bit of humor and something fun to a part that could potentially be just nothing but serious and stoic all the time.
Mhm.
And that's something that I'd love to dive into a little bit more.
Mhm.
The kind of the other siblings rolling their eyes behind his back, and him just being so cocksure of himself. And yeah, as I said, it's because he thinks he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
For me, and when I'm playing it in my head, um, it's not like he's trying to push buttons. He's just doing things he has to do.
Yeah.
His family, like it or not.
I got a couple of rapid fire type questions. So,
Mm.
what's one piece of advice you'd give to your character?
Whatever you do.
Oh, that's a great answer. Um,
Okay, listen. If if you're watching the show and you've never read the books, I'll leave it at that.
all right. What's the most challenging costume or prop you've had to work with this season?
The jacket that I was wearing in the entrance scene.
Mhm.
They say, "Oh, welcome, Galad and that red jacket is so beautiful. I mean, it's one of those things that like you would hang on a wall. If I could have kept it, if they were like, right, that's the end of it, no more seasons, I would have begged them to keep it. But my God, that thing is stiff. and it is sewn to my exact body shape and no more. So like, but if there was ever more than like 5, 10 minutes between takes, I'd take it off and be like, oh my god, oh, I can breathe for a second. They're like, right, we're rolling again. I'm like, oh, okay, back on, breathe in. But at least we didn't have to fight with that one, which was nice.
One more. What's the scariest thing you've seen or done on set?
I think honestly, like when you start doing the fights full speed, it's a
Mhm.
bit like, oh my word, one wrong move and you're gonna get clocked in the dome. So that's a bit scary at first, but everything is so well thought out, and once you try a couple times, like, all right, I got this, I got
Yeah.
this.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Callum. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today. Looking forward to seeing the
Yeah,
rest of the season.